I'm Jamie and welcome to the show. Malaysia was thrown into a frenzy recently when Korean-American actor Daniel Dae Kim landed on its shores as part of AXN's 15th anniversary celebrations. His first stop, KL of course, and we got in on the action as he made his rounds. Check this out. Daniel Dae Kim, the sexy actor, best known for his roles as Jin in hit TV series Lost, as well as Hawaii PD Lieutenant Chin Ho Kelly in the hugely popular remake of Hawaii Five-0, was greeted by his fans in KL.
We love you, Daniel!
First on his itinerary was entertaining journos at a roundtable interview. The questions were fast and furious, but Daniel breezed through it all with grace and a smile.
Do I watch my own shows? Yes, I do. I know a lot of actors hate watching themselves, but I take it as a learning experience. I think it's important to see whether the work that I feel like I'm doing translates to the screen. And if it doesn't, how can I make the adjustment? Or if it does, at least I feel like, I'm working in the right way. To be completely candid, sometimes I feel very proud to be both Asian and American, and other times I feel like I'm neither. Koreans are very nationalistic and very proud, especially if they're entertainers. And so, it's very apparent to me that I'm not a native Korean. At the same time, I know that they're very proud of anyone who is Korean and is succeeding worldwide.
Babe. No, brother. The other one.
The same goes for the TV interviews that followed. Some even had the chance to get their photos taken with the obliging actor.
I think for me, one of my favorite things is that I get to do things and be someone that I'm not. In real life, you're always yourself. And for Hawaii Five-0, I get to shoot a shotgun. I get to ride a motorcycle. I get to kick down doors. All things that I can't do with my regular life. I don't find it difficult. I find it a great opportunity. I think. Anytime that someone asks you to learn how to ride a motorcycle, that's something I've always wanted to do. So, or someone asks you, learn how to shoot a shotgun. That sounds like fun to me. It doesn't sound like work. So, I'm happy to do all of that. And, I think that's also one of the nice things about being an actor. You get to be asked to learn all these different skills and talents.
So do you do your own stunts?
As much as I can. I don't do them all because they won't let me. But whatever I can do, I try to do.
Things are getting serious between you and this new guy, huh?
The interviews were then followed by a fancy luncheon with an impressive guest list. Daniel charmed the crowd with his easygoing personality and wit.
And I'm going to be walking the city tomorrow, so I really hope it doesn't rain.
Menu's just in front of you.
I think I'll be stuffed after this, though.
There are absolutely no airs from the superstar. And the highlight of the day for his fans came in the form of an intimate meet and greet session at the Hilton KL. 30 lucky fans had their wish come true when they got to meet their favorite actor up close and personal. They gave Daniel a warm welcome when he made his entrance. Then the floor was open to a Q&A session where fans got to ask him some fun questions.
Welcome to Malaysia. This is your first time in Malaysia, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So all of them were quite excited to want to share all the local cultures with you while I was talking with them in the earlier session.
Who's the biggest goof on set? Can I sit down? Who's the biggest goof on set?
I would say all of us have our days where we just feel a little bit goofy, but I do know that Scott likes to have a really good time.
Hi, I'm Samantha, and I really am a big fan, and I really like acting as well. So my question for you is, being as talented as you are and getting into the Hollywood scene and the entertainment industry, what advice do you have for people who are trying to start out there?
I would say the number one thing you can do is to train. Get some classes and keep working, because like anything else, the more you practice, the better you get.
How come Grace is so small?
She's actually really tall. Grace is very tall.
And Scott is,
It's very tall here.
They also got a chance to be snapped with Daniel and to get his autograph. Some even got to be congratulated Hawaii style when they answered correctly at the trivia session. It was definitely a happy day for his fans.
Congratulations. He's just too friendly and he's just amazing.
It was amazing. Seriously. Very awesome.
We love you, Daniel!
I was really impressed with how enthusiastic the crowd was. They were shrieking and giggling, and it made me feel like I was a teenager again, and I appreciated that.
And it looks like the fans and media were not the only ones who had fun that day.
I'm tired, but it was a great day. I met a lot of great people and had some fun interviews. It was a good time.
After the eventful stopover in KL, Daniel says hello to his fans down south in Singapore. Stay tuned as we give you all the juicy details on that when we return. Welcome back to our Ebuzz Daniel Day Kim special. I'm Jamie. Now, earlier on in the show, we saw the sexy Hawaii Five-0 actor wowing his fans in Malaysia. Now, we bring you an exclusive on Daniel's next stopover here in Singapore. Take a look.
Yeah, the man on the screen is Earthstrike's big gun.
Up, up, and away. There's no rest for megastar Daniel Day Kim as he got down to business right away with a promo shoot for AXN in the morning. Despite the early call time, Daniel was full of smiles and energy as he plunged headlong into another day of crazy promo rounds. Does anyone feel exhausted yet?
When I first got hired for the job, I traveled with the Honolulu Police Department for 3 or 4 days. And I rode in a squad car with them and hung out in the station just to get an idea of what life for a Hawaii police officer really was.
License and registration, please.
I will tell you that probably my most embarrassing moment was the very first day of shooting, where there was a big crowd scene and we were riding up to find out what crime was committed. And Dano and McGarrett were driving up in a Camaro, and I was following in my Harley Davidson. And I was supposed to follow right on his tail. So I did everything I could to stay right behind him. And then he just jammed on the brake when we got to the end of the road, and so I had to jam on my brake. And then he ran out of the car, and I was trying to catch up to him, and I realized that when I got off my bike, I'd forgotten to put the kickstand down. So I got off my bike and I started walking and the bike went.
They say time whizzes by when you're having fun, and man, is that true. After wrapping up the promo shoot for AXN, Daniel was rushed away for another luncheon with even more VIPs, where he charmed the guests with his calm yet magnetic persona.
So a lot of Singaporeans go up to Korea for tourism?
Now, yes.
No, yeah.
Yeah, like Korea is like the in place.
Yeah.
So the big finale is on this week on the channel.
Is it?
Shall we spoil and tell you?
With barely time for his lunch to settle, Daniel was off to a photo shoot where he posed gamely for the cameras. And finally, it was time for the meet and greet with his fans in Singapore. His lucky fans were excited and all geared up to meet the actor in person, and they got just what they wanted, or I dare say, maybe even a little more.
We have Annie Wong.
Well, the fans were obviously more than smitten with Daniel after meeting him in real life.
My heart is still beating very fast. Yeah, it's really a memorable one.
Really cool. It's very exciting. I really liked it.
Yeah, he's very
Awesome,
cool. I really love him, and also the show. We're just happy to be here.
I'm still shaken up because I got to see him.
Well, there was nothing in Kameska's vehicle.
And before you think that this is all we have for you, I managed to snag an exclusive interview with the man himself. Lucky me.
My father's a doctor, and he wanted me to follow in his footsteps, so, but I knew I could never be a doctor, so I thought maybe law, but then acting came around.
And how did that happen?
I took a class. I guess I was a political science major in college, and once I'd finished all of my requirements, I decided to take some classes just as an elective, and one of them was Acting 101.
And what did your dad say about that?
He thought it was just a phase, so he was fine with it. He thought, let him get it out of the system, and 20 years later, here I am. It's still in my system.
Wow. Do you have a favorite in terms of stage or TV or film?
I honestly don't. I think that I'll go where there's an interesting story and an interesting character. If there's something creative that I can do with a part, it doesn't matter whether it's stage, film, or television, I'll do it.
Is there any role that you would love to play that you haven't had the opportunity to yet?
On stage, I'd like to play Henry V. You know, my background is in Shakespeare, and it's a role that I've always felt a connection to for some reason. So if I get a chance, I'll do it.
A lot of people say that Lost was your breakout role. Do you consider it to be?
I do. You know, I'd been working steadily like many years before Lost, and you know, I'd done a number of recurring roles and you know, worked on film and on stage, but you know, Lost was really the thing that propelled me onto a kind of world stage.
How was it transitioning from Lost, which was such an iconic TV show and role, into playing this sort of good cop in Hawaii Five-0?
It was great. You know, one of the things I definitely wanted to do consciously was to separate myself from Jin a little bit. And there were so many people who actually didn't think I spoke English. And so for me, it was really important to kind of take a role where I spoke English, that it wasn't the same kind of show, it wasn't the same kind of mystery-driven show. I want to play different characters and different kinds of roles, and so Hawaii Five-0 was a nice way to do that.
Danny, you ever need any advice on relationships? My door's always open.
Oh, good. Well, you go ahead and keep that door closed, but thank you.
We have a fan question that we have picked to ask you, and this is from Felicia, and she says, "Hi Daniel, I'm such a big fan of yours. What I would like to ask is, how do you stick to and continue with your cultural and Asian roots after being in the States for most of your life?"
I am married to a Korean woman, Korean-American woman, and who is an amazing cook, and so when we cook at home, it's Korean food the majority of the time. So I think a big way of keeping in touch with the culture is through food. You know, we follow little Korean things around the house, you know, like taking off your shoes, and more importantly, more significantly, like family relations and the relationships we have with friends are informed equally by Korean tradition as they are by American. So it's a combination of those things. Great to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too, thanks.
Jamie Ong, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are on Ebuzz. Stay tuned.
It's been great. The people of Singapore have been so friendly and nice. But thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching Hawaii Five-0, and we hope to keep making great television for you.
With that, Daniel's visit to Asia came to a successful end as he promised to return to the region in the future. And when he does, I'm sure even more fans will be waiting eagerly to welcome him back. Quite a ride, huh? Yes, Daniel really is that good looking, and he was really quite the gentleman. Okay, I'm going to indulge more in my inner fangirl, so I'll send you guys off for a quick break. But stay tuned, because there's more of the latest in movies and music when we come back.